Okay, let's see if we can start up the Toyota. We'll see if it gives the air light for the headlight. Up and now there's the air light for the headlight, and then it shows problem up on the dashboard. And energy, and it shows the little headlight error message there. So now when I fix the load sensor in the back, we'll see if that gets corrected. Here's the load sensor off of my 2005 Toyota Prius. The computer uses the sensor to tell how to aim the headlights on the automatic headlight adjustments. And this here is the sensor in here. And this, when the car moves up and down, this arm moves up and down to tell the computer how much load you have in the car. Of course, you mount the body through these two bolt holes here, and this here bottom part mounts on the rear axle. And of course here it's been broken because this little connecting rod here is rusted and corroded inside these ball joints, so I'm going to try to replace that or get that fixed. But now I'm going to take apart the actual electronic switch here to repair the actual connectors in the potentiometer that the computer uses to sense the load. Of course, here's where the wire plugs in there. The wire harness plugs into there. Well, here we are inside the load sensor potentiometer. This cover comes off with the 4 screws, and this all had to be cleaned up. You see it's a little bit of rust inside there. But to see what corrodes up is these 3 little springs all fell apart. Now this center one is still one of the original springs because it was still good. But these other 2 springs I replaced with springs out of a ballpoint pen. And you see how they're just little tiny springs, and of course these 3 little holes had to be all cleaned up so that they make electrical contact. The circuit, there's 3 connectors inside the plug, one for each of these. One wire goes to each one of these springs, which then in turn makes contact to the points inside the cover here, those 3 black circles. And then of course, as this arm turns up and down, it turns this other little section here with these 2 little fingers on. And of course those 2 little fingers are rubbing against the 2 circular tracks in here on this side. So you want to make sure these contacts are bent up enough, and so they contact you. So you just make sure these are clean. Clean those with alcohol or the electrical contact cleaner. And then now when I put this back together, I want to put a little bit of silicone rubber on this O-ring to make sure that's sealed up tight, because it appears that water leaks in through this surface, in through the connection there. Okay, so we have the unit put back together. We can test it with an ohm meter. We'll touch one probe on the left terminal, and then the other probe on the middle terminal, and we'll see the ohm meter makes a reading, so we know it's making contact inside the potentiometer. Then we can even test the other terminal on the right side, center to outside, and we get a reading on the ohm meter, so we know we've got contact. And then the computer will know what to do from those readings. That should get rid of the error message on the dashboard of the car. And since I don't have the new connecting rod part to replace this connecting rod, I just made one with a piece of wire hanger. It should be close to the right length, should do it. And this is the old part of the connecting rod, and I just wrapped the wire hanger around the ball joint after I cut off the old ball joint. So that should be pretty close to the right length for making this operate, until I can buy a new connecting rod. So I'll try to find that from the Toyota dealer. Well, here we are back under the car, and I got the main unit mounted there, and this plug wire will go right into there. And of course this here is going to mount, the bottom mount, it's going to mount right back on the axle. And I'll put these 2 screws back onto there. And here's my little connecting rod made with a wire hanger. We'll see. I'll have to tighten that up a little bit, but that should work pretty good. Okay, I've got the load sensor connected now properly. Let's see what happens when I start it up. Now, we'll give it just a minute here to show. No error shows up, but it should be okay. I think I'll just go drive it around and let it do its work. Thank you. No error light, thank you. Okay, now I'm going to turn the headlights on and see what they look like. Because the first time I did it, the headlights, I could see them adjust, so it worked.